should you get the Leviathan box set, which is just right around the corner? I've been thinking about that question. It's a new edition, new rules, new models. Question will be, can we get it, and do we want to get it? These are my thoughts and ideas about this box set, how I'm interested, why I'm going to do it, and why it may be right for you, or maybe why it's not. Getting into Warhammer 40k is a bit of an undertaking. It's a lot of money, there are lots of models, and there's lots of things to do. If it's assembling, building, painting, all the stuff that happens even before you even play a game, which is probably one of the biggest problems of the game itself, is that it's difficult to actually get the game to table sometimes. But once you get past that, it can be great. Leviathan box set has sparked my interest into going back into the world of Warhammer 40k. I played many editions ago, many years ago, and I looked at 9th, but it didn't quite click with me. There was a lot of rules, lots of things, and I'm not accustomed to heavy rule sets in games. But being able to have a game in which that I can play with other people, being relatively straightforward and simple enough to pick up, but still having a complexity that sits within the game of what we all understand, I want that, and I want to be able to have that, but it can be difficult with games that have huge rule overhead and stuff like that, or big bloat in the games themselves. So I'm really hoping that this new edition, this 10th edition game, is going to help streamline it in such a way in which that I can have fun and play with my wife, Brianna, and also with my friends when they come along. I'm interested in this on a variety of different levels. I'm interested in the hobby scope, in which I can get to build, paint, and hopefully do kit bashing, because that's a new thing for me, in which that I can take Space Marine models from other sprues and build my own sort of chapter. And though I'm not going to build my own custom chapter, I'm going to go with White Scars, because it's led by a Khan, and I'm a Khan, so that's real obvious, isn't it? But in the new kind of combat, in this new box set system, they've got this thing called Combat Patrol. And with Combat Patrol, it's a cheaper and easier way to get into the game, and you can bring it to the table much faster. And I think that's a really clever thing for them to do, because one of the things is the problems with the game is being able to actually get it to table. And I think that if we can do that more easily, then the game will flourish and it'll be better and more people will be playing the game, which then means more fun for everyone, and then just more money spending, because that's the whole point of this hobby anyway. If you are interested in kit bashing, the mono poses that you get with the Leviathan box set are going to be great, but they won't be sufficient in order for you to be able to really properly kit bash. So you'll have to go and buy other things in order to do so. And that's exactly what I am doing. I bought a few other boxes, which hopefully I'm going to be able to add together and make something cool and interesting. One of the great things about just any new edition or any new big box set is the value. That's easy, you know. The bigger they are, generally, especially at the start, they're going to be the best value. And I think this is, easily going to be one of the best value boxes that we're going to see for the next few years. When Indominus came out, that was a great value, and this will also be the same thing. Now, you may not want the stuff that's in this box set, but if you are interested in it, or on both of those factions simultaneously, then this will be a great buy. So you're on the fence, or maybe you're not on the fence. You're probably in your room. That's probably a better place to be. About buying the Leviathan box set. It's going to be great value. You're going to get all the updated rules and stuff like that. But a question might be do I actually really want it? Do I even need it? And this is a good question. There's a couple things you need to ask yourself. Yes, we know it's good value, but do you actually want the factions that are involved in this box set? Do you want the Tyranids? Do you want the Space Marines? Now, most people play Space Marines to some degree, but if you don't, well, then you don't need really either side of the box. Or you just want it because of the rules, because the rules will come out later, so you don't need to get you don't need to feel like you're sucked into the hype or the FOMO necessarily of this box set, or even the premise of a good value. Or Games Workshop, I'm sure was thinking, we're going to keep things simple, but kind of them as a company have over time made things become more complicated. They're inevitably going to put more rules into it, are they? They may do things to it which make may make the game more complicated than it needs to be. And so we don't really know how 10th edition actually plays. We have a sense of it. We probably have watched some of the reports and things like that. But is it better? Is it simpler? And I don't actually know the answer to that question. I'm only going over by the news that is being told to me. And I don't really know how true that is. So one day you'll just have to find out and try it. But do you want to spend the money to do that? And that's a good question. I don't know. Another reason why you may not want the box set is because you've already got a massive pile of shame. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you've already got enough models that you need to paint them. And you don't really need more models that you're not going to necessarily get to. And so you don't necessarily need to spend the money that you won't necessarily be painting if only you need is the rules. So that might be a good reason why you might want to do that. Of course, another reason is that you really are only a painter and you're not really into the game so much and you're just looking to paint a cool model. Well, the box set sure will give you a variety of models at a good price, but if you're only painting like more display pieces or just like individual things and you're never going to try and make an army or a force, then you also don't need to bother about that. And you can just go for the specific model for the thing that you're looking to paint. There is one last reason why you may not want to go for the Leviathan box set. And because, you know what? It's going to be stressful. Launch day is right around the corner and you're going to have to be at your computer at the time, ready, locked and loaded to buy that box set. And if we all know, if we've ever seen anything from Games Workshop, we know that they do a phenomenal job of getting this right every single time. Lionel Johnson, we've seen it. So me and Brianna got on our computers, set ourselves up with minutes to spare before getting on to try and get that model. And as soon as we went through it, through the whole process of it, we failed. And that was really strange because we had two of us on two separate computers with a really fast internet connection, and we could not get the model if we wanted to. And we still can't get the model. I'm left a bit miffed by the whole thing. I'm like, okay, where is the model? Can I get it? I can't even pre-order the thing effectively to put myself on a queue to get the thing. I just have to wait for it when it comes. And that's kind of crap. Have you seen the aftermarket prices of that thing afterwards? Once it went sold to a bunch of people, no one got it. People blamed content creators for getting it, and that's my cue for Games Workshop. Content creator. Damn, they didn't send me anything. We've seen that how Games Workshop handle people and how they purchase these things through their pre-order system. And generally, it's abysmal. They have a really poor track record for doing it. Many people are upset. It's constant news. That's like one of the big news things that happens from Games Workshop on a continuous level, is how difficult it is for people who actually want to buy the product to actually get the product that they want to get. Not only is it an expensive product, but difficult to get. And then if you can't get it and you have to go to like the aftermarket, like eBay, then you're going to pay scalper prices and you're just like left sort of with a bitter taste in your mouth for trying to get something that you actually want to get. And that's just kind of annoying. Regardless of the difficulties which people might have with the pre-order system that's coming, Games Workshop have stated that they have made a mind-boggling amount of them. I don't know if I believe in that. I don't know if I trust that. I presume they want to make money and they don't want scalpers to make that money instead. So, and because it's a new edition, I'm going to trust them that they're going to be making a bunch. And I think that everyone should be able to buy the box set when it comes out. I really, really, really hope that's true. This time around, we're going to try and do the same thing. We're going to just try and get this box set. I'm going to go online. I'm either going to go through the Games Workshop or I'm going to go through a third party, or both, depending on the rush or the state of the situation. Depends on if I'm going to buy, because I want to confirm an order. I want to get that done. And so I guess the first place that appears is the place in which I'm going to go. And we will report back to you and we'll let you know. Hopefully there'll be a box like right here that says Leviathan. When Leviathan box set hits the market, it's going to be a bit mayhemic for everyone a little bit, unless you get your copy. The thing about this is that if you don't get your copy, everywhere you're going to find everything on eBay. And I just want you to be a bit careful about eBay. Not that you have to be careful of eBay as itself as an entity. They're not like spying on you or, doing terrible, non-speakable things, which we can't speak about. But you're going to see people who will be selling the box sets for a lot more money, and you'll see people who are parting it out. And this could be an interesting thing, because the very initial effect will happen will be that there'll be a huge surge on eBay, especially if you can't find it. And that will go for obscene amounts of money. And I think the best thing would be to hold off, would be to try and be patient, or try and find the specific part of the box set that you're looking for. So if you only want Space Marines, or if you only want the Tyrants, or you only want the rulebook, you might be able to buy it through eBay at a better deal than buying the entire thing all up front. And this is interesting because you can spend less for the thing that you're specifically looking for. If there's a lot of copies out there, then the prices will be pretty competitive. Hopefully that Games Workshop have made enough, because like the opposite of Lionel Johnson, they made very, very few amount of them. And in the process, the spike in price after they were bought was huge. It was astronomical, really. And I know people bought it at prices that were insane, and they could have just waited. But obviously that's a thing in us, right? That we are like, I've missed my chance. I'm going to buy it no matter the cost. And I don't want anyone to go through that process, because that's just, you're spending money to get something maybe a bit earlier than someone else to do what with? Not really anything, to show it off. But we're all going to get it probably, or most of us are. And you don't want to see people needlessly spend money for no good reason. So say patience. If you can't quite get it, I do think there'll be enough copies out there, and you will be able to find things on eBay. But if you go to eBay immediately, the prices will be very high, and they will come back down to normal, because anything like the Indominus box set, you can still buy it from 9th edition. It's more expensive than it was when it started, but you could get it. So the fact that it's available still kind of says that you should be a chance of being able to get it. On a whole other side of this game is, yes, you could buy the box set, but if you were a person who were like, I only want a piece of this thing, I want only the rulebook, I only want one of the factions, you could buy the whole box set and then sell the rest of it on eBay, like a lot of people will be doing. Or if you got some friends who are interested in one side of the equation, you could do it that way. You can split the cost with your friends, making it for a cheaper box, cheaper bundle, and making it even more cost effective, which would be nice. I just have to convince Brianna now to buy the Tyranid section. I think I've done that. May the Emperor's Light guide you, and good luck on Saturday.